So here's a guy who gave me a hunt of a lifetime, and I had a chance to, you know, share something with him that'll be eternal. I never did. 2 hours later, I was on a plane to Minnesota and never saw the guy again. And I just hope and literally pray that. Still gets to me. Years later, somewhere in there, that he found God's grace. I got to know Billy Moles, that is, was at the Deer Classic at St. Paul. And I ran into him. I had a booth there. He had a booth just down from me, and he came over, introduced himself. I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Well, I'm a guide out of Alaska." I was like, "Well, that's fun." It got my curiosity. At that Deer class, I watched him. He started doing his public speaking, and you could just see how people were he's very talented when it comes to talking to people. I mean, he can just capture people in no time. And it's like, I think I want him here. And that got the mind thinking a little bit. I just didn't know how it was going to work out. Because we started putting the plan together to have him come. There were a few people I went and gathered with him and talked to him. And then COVID hit. That shut that down. And then I forgot about it for a while. And then, I actually had to do a wild game feed. I had to give a talk on my faith walk. And that kind of started to plant in the seed. The next year it kind of opened up a little bit more. In fact, I went to the next year. I wasn't speaker there, but someone else was, and someone said something. "Well, you're always going to have this guy. You're going to do that." And I didn't think I didn't sleep very well that night. I just kept thinking all the way home from Winthrop. I kept thinking about that. How can we make this happen? And I even in church the next day, you're giving the sermon, and I drifted off, and I was not paying attention. I kind of woke up from my daydream, if you would, and the next words out of your mouth were, "When God is speaking, you should be listening." And it's like, did I need a bigger 2x4 to hit me over the head? And I called Billy and I said, "Let's make it happen." And I picked a day. And every step, I thought there was going to be a hurdle. There was a hurdle. It just seemed effortless. I went to the Hamburg Sportsman's Club in order to tell them what we were up to. And I mean, I thought we were going to be pushback on this whole thing. Then not only did they cover the deposit without any question, they took care of the speaker, and they gave us, told us, "Go, let's make it happen." One thing that was kind of interesting that night was for a couple of weeks, I had a nastiest cough. It was an annoying cough. It was annoying to others. I couldn't hardly talk to somebody for a minute without having a coughing fit. Then I get up, I have to tell my story for 20 some minutes. It's never an issue. I get off the stage, within a minute I was hacking again. Tell me how that happens. Watching the people as Billy started to speak, it was powerful. Nobody was on their phone. Nobody was sitting there chatting, or nobody was distracted by anything. And their eyes were just, it just felt like the Holy Spirit was in that room. And the messages that came, the words of people walking out, and you could hear all the conversations. And what you expect, you knew you did this in order to change lives. But it's when it happens that it blew me away the next day. The messages that came in. People have found Christ.